evening, welcome to Have I Got News for You? I'm Jack D. In the news this week, in Matt Hancock's village, ratepayers begin to think they may not have got value for money as his mate wins the contract for clearing up river pollution. In Somerset, Jacob Rees-Mogg is alarmed when Ian Hislop turns up at his house unexpectedly.
Nanny, 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 it's the lefty off the telly.
And the Metropolitan Police faces legal action from the RSPCA after whistleblowers reveal how they record the sound for their sirens. On Ian's team tonight is a comedian who says the funniest person he knows is his 2-year-old daughter. Sadly, she's not available, so we're stuck with her dad. Please welcome Nabil Abdul Rashid. And on Paul's team tonight is a professor of mathematics at UCL who teaches her students how to work with astronomical numbers. This week, she's been helping them deal with the new interest rate on their student loans. Please welcome Professor Hannah Fry. Well, we begin with the bigger news stories of the week. Paul and Hannah, have a look at this.
Oh, yes, Boris Johnson denies he's the father of all these people. This is him and Rishi getting ready for a party, which they thought was a work experience. Yeah, so they've been fined this week, haven't they? What's the grip on it? Look at her, look.
He's asking her how quickly she can reasonably squeeze out another baby.
Yeah. So the Metropolitan Police have issued fines for people attending parties, although Boris knew he was only at a party for 9 minutes.
Yes.
Rishi Sunak was there as well, and his wife and Boris's wife as well was there. So, yes, they've been fined for attending a party.
Yes.
Which they didn't know was a party.
Yeah.
And Boris, to be fair, didn't know he was Prime Minister. Or indeed it was a pandemic, or he was in 10 Downing Street.
No.
He thought he was in a strip club in Stepney.
Well, it's a lot to take in, isn't it?
It is a lot to take in.
Yes, this is the news that Boris Johnson is not technically a criminal, but has successfully become the first sitting Prime Minister to have broken the law. The Met Police have issued him with a fixed penalty notice for attending his 56th birthday party.
That's a lot in one day, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
9 minutes at each one, I mean, it soon adds up. If only we could have somebody who could tell us what 56 times 9 is.
Don't make me do math like on telly.
No. Anyway, we all know the answer is innocent.
Of course.
This is just the first fine.
Yeah.
There's more to come.
Yeah, so he's saving his apologies.
No, he's done a fulsome apology. The word fulsome means insincere, over the top, not meant.
Yes.
The other thing about the apology, though, was that everyone has been saying, he's apologised, let's move on. And I sort of think the point of apologies is that you're not the one that gets to decide when it's time to move on.
No, and it is classic. We've been told by the Prime Minister, oh, it's too soon because we haven't had the Sue Gray report. And then we had to wait for the police report. The police report comes, oh, it's too late, it's a long time ago. And he thinks everyone has forgotten about it and that they don't care anymore. Maybe by the time we go out, the party will have come to its senses and he will have resigned.
I mean, don't you think you guys are being a bit unfair? He's the ruler of a country. He should be allowed to flex a little bit. I mean, other rulers are having people dismembered and we're angry because our guy shook a leg. Like, come on. It's just a house party. It's a shubs, man. Just let him live. God. How was he supposed to know he was breaking the rules?
I suppose the fact that it was quite clearly a party and he lied about it, but I... No, I'd let him live. I would let him live. I'm not... I'm not advocating the death penalty. I think we don't have to go that far, but we've got another 6 parties to go. All the attention's on this one, and everyone's going, oh, God, woke BBC lefties, can't you get over it? And I'm thinking, yeah, woke BBC lefty Lord Wolfson, the Tory Justice Minister who's just resigned. I mean, there's a snowflake. Tory QC member of the House of Lords, pathetic. He's resigned. Why hasn't Boris? Why hasn't Rishi? Why hasn't Carrie? Are you allowed to resign as his wife? And why hasn't the entire Tory party resigned, all of them? They supported him, why don't they leave now? They're the party of law and order.
All seems so avoidable as well. What is wrong with people? When someone comes in with a cake and starts singing, why can't you just say, like I do, get out, leave me alone? I've been doing it since I was 4, and it's not... Once you get used to it, it's not that hard. Who else gets a fine?
Rishi.
Rishi Sunak. According to the Times, he was said to be angry at getting a fine as he was only at the birthday gathering for a meeting with Boris Johnson and added had not been invited to the party. Who was one of the quickest to defend the Prime Minister when the news of the fine broke?
Nadine Dorries.
There were people queuing up to defend him, the Prime Minister, but on Sky News, it was Michael Fabricant. Here he is there.
He's gone the whole hog. He's now a Boris tribute act. Do you know what he said, though, when he was asked about the parties?
Apparently, teachers do it too.
Yeah.
And I took offence to that as someone who lives in inner city London. Okay, maybe in the posh schools that he went to, where teachers sip on Pimm's, they get drunk. But teachers in the boroughs of Croydon, Hackney, Shoreditch, they don't get drunk, they get high. So get your facts straight. Get your facts straight. He then went on to throw the NHS under the bus, which is nothing like what Tories do. Normally, they put them on the side of the bus.
Do you see what Michael Fabricant actually had to say?
Yeah. I think that at the time he thought, just like many teachers and nurses, who after a very, very long shift would tend to go back to the staff room and have a quiet drink, which is more or less what he has done. I don't know much about the birthday party to which you talked about. I wasn't invited.
He made these claims that I think the amount of snitching that's happening among the Tories, now I'm sorry, but we all know snitches get stitches, but this guy is about to break all boundaries and become the first snitch that can't get stitches because the NHS will refuse to treat him.
All right. Yeah, Michael Fabricant there he was talking to BBC's Sean Lay. Let's go over to Sean now for the latest.
Simon David, the Liberal Democrat MP. Excuse me, I'm about to sleep. I think I've got away with it.
But it seems as if the Met are issuing fines event by event. So what could that mean for Boris Johnson?
Well, I mean, there's loads more to come. There's the idea that it's a quiet drink. There's the karaoke party coming. There's the bring your own booze. I mean, there's loads more fines to go. I mean, Matt Hancock, who was having a party for 2 people in a cupboard... he had to resign.
Yeah. And that was bring your own, wasn't it?
Boris Johnson is in line for at least another 3 fixed penalty notices. Former Minister David Gauke went on social media to ask, will Cabinet members tweet their support for the PM every time he is fined, or just retweet the original Declaration of Loyalty? And I'm hearing that we can cross back now to the BBC's Sean Lay for a further update.
He was responding to a High Court judgment which ruled his department had acted unlawfully in failing to disclose details of deals to purchase items such as personal protective equipment. Excuse me, government is meant to publish contracts. It's very rude of me.
It makes you want to wipe the inside of your television, doesn't it? As we mentioned, the week had started well for the Prime Minister as he turned up unexpectedly where?
In Ukraine.
Ukraine, you got it, yeah.
I think it's him going there is a good thing.
Do you?
I think, Ukraine asked to send troops. We did one better. We sent them one man that's proven he can ruin an entire country by himself. We're not scared of the Winter Soldier. We sent them the Autumn Bumbler. It's amazing.
There's a bit of a scoop about Putin in the Sunday Sport. Did you see this? Putin shat himself after 2 pints of shandy. He's really gone down in my estimation. I don't know what you think.
In tiny writing, it says there, we've agreed not to name our source, now living in exile in Crewe, Cheshire, for fear of reprisals.
Yeah, it's a great bit of undercover reporting there. Always beating the Financial Times to it as well, aren't they? Meanwhile, what has Priti Patel been doing in Rwanda?
Signing a deal to send people crossing the Channel 4,000 miles to a place where the UK last year was making complaints in the United Nations about human rights and various atrocities there. So now it's a good place to send people, apparently.
The thing is, I know that they said they wanted their migration policy to be world-leading, but I don't think I realised that that meant that they would lead them halfway around the world and just leave them there.
Well, it's another example of British exports at their finest. People may not want our cheese, but they're going to have our refugees.
For balance, we should look at what Labour's policy on migrants might be. Shadow Minister Lucy Powell was asked the question on the Today programme on Radio 4 and replied, quite a few boring measures, really. Inspiring stuff. So, finally, a quick look at some more of the week's bleaker stories. Shall we have a game of Dim, Dom or Dick? Here's your first one. Buzz in when you know which one it is. Yes, it was you, Hannah.
Dom.
It was Dom.
This is quite an easy quiz.
Yeah. There might be a question attached to this, though.
In fact, there isn't. No.
Just 1 point.
I genuinely didn't know who he was, so, yeah.
All the others are non-doms.
All right, you say it's easy. Let's have another question, see how we get on. Yes.
Well, that's Eric Pickles, isn't it? It must be Dim.
Yeah, well, the answer is Dim.
Dim, yeah.
Any idea why he's in the quiz this week?
Is it because he got confused between Grenfell and Hillsborough?
Yeah, that's right. It was Eric Pickle gave evidence last week at the inquiry into the Grenfell Tower, and he was dim in another way as well. Here is Mr. Pickles explaining that he's a busy man.
Feel free to ask me as many questions as you like, but could I respectfully remind you that you did promise that we would be away this morning, and I have changed my schedules to fit this in. I do have an extremely busy day meeting people, but this is more important than anything. But I would urge you to use your time wisely.
Are you sure the answer was Dim and not Dick?
He fits into as many categories as you like. Let's have a final round of Dim, Dom or Dick. That was Paul.
I've no idea who he is, so it's 1 in 3 chance, isn't it? So I'm going to say he's Dick.
Actually, the answer is Dim. But,
Dim?
It is a confusing quiz because, as has already happened, people do slot into more than one category, really. But, the answer is Dim. It was, do you know who it was? Anyone else who knows who it was? It was Crispin Blunt.
Oh, yeah.
Who publicly criticised the jury who had found fellow Tory MP Imran Ahmed Khan guilty of sexually abusing a 15-year-old boy. Well, there's going to be a by-election in Wakefield now. That...
Are you going to? Is there a Labour MP convicted for sexual assault this week? We've got to have balance.
For balance.
Can't just go on about the Tories just because you know.
Don't think there was this week.
Oh right. Is there a Lib Dem?
I expect so. Yeah. There's going to be a by-election in Wakefield now that Khan has resigned. It's been suggested that Ed Balls might stand. Should we remind ourselves of the time Ed Balls volunteered to be tasered on TV?
Yes.
I don't care. Whatever you're going to do. Darts is fine. Just do what you're going to do and let's get it done.
Spotters ready?
It's given me a brilliant idea for an alternative to a fixed penalty fine.
Very good, yeah. Or just an alternative to Strictly. This is the news that Boris Johnson and Rishi Sunak have had to pay fines for attending Boris's birthday party in Number 10. There are arguments for why Boris Johnson should resign, but there are a couple of reasons why he shouldn't. Here they are. Last week, Boris Johnson flew to Kyiv. You must be under terrible pressure and strain in the desperate situation. Our thoughts are with you, said President Zelensky. Ian and Nabil, take a look at this.
It's $1 million, supermarket sweep.
To pay taxes now because of him.
Here's the budget. I'm going to leak it. Oh, there's a replica of Number 10. You're not going in there, mate.
The door's too small.
Yeah, this is Rishi Sunak's week, which is just getting better and better, isn't it? The pressure is building on Rishi Sunak to resign last week because of his wife's tax affairs. What was she actually doing wrong?
Well, she was a non-dom, so she wasn't paying any tax in the UK. She was paying it abroad, which, again, is quite odd for the Chancellor's wife. The person who raises the taxes was making sure they stayed very low for people like his wife, and people thought that was outrageous, rightly. And then it turned out that he wasn't committed to living in Britain either because he had a green card, which means he's a resident of the US. But she said she was moving back to India and he was going to move to the US. So their commitment to the country was very limited.
Or each other. They're going to different continents.
I mean, you can't blame the guy for having an escape plan, right?
And also, he complained. He said this was an appalling attack on his wife and it was sort of deeply sexist. He was smearing
At
his
least he
wife.
didn't slap anyone.
Take my wife's international earnings out of your tax calculation.
The question was, what has she actually done wrong? The answer is technically nothing. What has Akshata Murthy done now?
She said, oh, I'll pay my tax from now on.
Yeah. She's decided she will pay tax in the UK on the money that she earns in India, so she's paying tax on it twice, which comes to about £20 million. According to the Mail, she's done it in a bid to save his career. For 20 million. I'm not sure my wife would spend 20 million quid to save my career, or my life for that matter. What did Rishi used to have that he hasn't got now?
A reputation?
It's already been touched upon as the green card.
The bare minimum is that you want from your chancellor is that they commit to living in the United Kingdom. I think it's a little bit like if you were getting married, instead of saying I do, you're sort of saying, I mean, I sort of do, but I also want to keep my options open.
Yeah.
I'm going to have a look round the church before I say definitely yes.
What did leader of the Lib Dems, Ed Davey, say about it?
What are the Lib Dems?
Yes, to remind you, they are another party.
Oh.
Yes, another party. Not one that you get fined for being invited to.
But you'd keep it quiet anyway.
What did... Yes, yeah. Ed Davey, he said specifically, he said... Well, who cares what he said? Should we move on?
No, this is balanced.
He said the green card amounted to a conflict of interest for which the Chancellor should be shown the red card.
Zing.
Yeah, well done, Ed.
Yes,
no one really pays much attention to him, but when he does speak, wow. What else is the Chancellor having trouble controlling?
Inflation.
Yeah.
It's 7%.
Yeah, we have had the fastest growth in inflation for 30 years. It's currently at 7%, 8% now. It's actually at 10% now. The rate of inflation is based on a shopping basket of essential items. And the contents of that basket change regularly. But what's just been taken out? Donuts, men's suits and coal. What? Yeah, it's pretty much my whole shopping list. But they've added into the baskets for 2022 sports bras, meat-free sausages, dog collars and moist wipes.
Now, that is a party.
Yeah. Now, the welcome return after just 14 years of Pop to the Shops. OK.
Have we done this before, then?
Yeah, 14 years ago.
14 years
ago.
Okay.
Yeah. It didn't work then, I might say.
No.
So here's the first one. I popped to the shops to buy a tin of mushy peas from Tesco. It cost 25p, but what did it cost in January? Yes.
17p.
No, not as little as that. No, bit more than that. Anyway. Yes, Hannah.
23p.
You're very close, 22p. So, yes, it was 25p.
I can see why it's been 14 years since we last did this. Not long enough.
That's an increase of how much, Hannah?
Don't you know that mathematicians are really bad at doing mental arithmetic?
No, I didn't know that. But I do now.
Just get my calculator out.
Yeah. So here's the next question.
Yeah.
I pop to the shops. All the questions start with I pop to the shops.
Yeah. Well,
it's a
that's the mistake for a start.
When this baby flies, that's going to be the catchphrase. I pop to the shops and buy a packet of spaghetti from Asda for 72p. It's gone up by 41%. So what was it last year?
Do you remember when you were in school and your teacher said, you'll never have a calculator on you? Well, who's laughing now?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Nobody joined Pop to the Shops.
Oh, no. Give it a chance, there's more.
Give it a chance, it's lying dead on the floor.
I pop to the shops
Yeah.
and buy McCain oven chips for Ian's tea for £2.78. How much were they 2 months ago? Yes, Hannah.
A number less than £2.78.
You are right.
£2.39.
To £2.24.
Exactly.
Yeah, so there's been a 24.1% increase by my reckoning. Sadly, that is the end of Pop to the Shop. See you in 14 years' time.
Yeah.
Well, this is the row over Rishi Sunak's wife's tax status. She is listed on LinkedIn as a director of a private equity firm and Gentleman's Outfitters New and Lingwood. And still, Rishi's trousers look like this.
He's not a tall man.
No.
Are you saying they would be shorts on somebody else?
That's actually an iPhone he's talking into. And so to round two, the picture spin quiz. Fingers on buzzers, teams.
Oh, I know.
Yes,
Was
Anna.
this the scandal that there was a woman impersonating a nightingale on the BBC?
You are quite right. Right. This is cellist Beatrice Harrison, whose duet with a singing nightingale in 1924 was one of the first live outside broadcasts from the BBC. Have a listen to this. As Hannah has already said, the singing nightingale wasn't actually a singing nightingale after all, but was instead a bird impressionist. So who went by the name Madame I love that people are still shocked. Went by the name of Madame Saburad.
Why would you learn how to do that?
Well, it was a long time ago. There's nothing else to do.
I don't wish to in any way burst the bubble of this question, but as it's nearly 98 years ago, is there a reason why it's appearing on a topical news quiz?
It's only just come to light.
Oh!
That's the thing. It's up there with Savile and Bashir and all the other scandals.
So next week we'll find out it wasn't a cello, it was just a man coughing into a bucket.
Yeah. What happened to the original real nightingale that was supposed to be doing the performance? It's thought that it was scared off by the recording crew setting up equipment and trampling around the garden ahead of the live broadcast, which was listened to by over 1 million people. Thank you.
That was a jackdaw.
That's brilliant.
Unbelievable.
That's a cuckoo with a lisp.
OK, fingers on buzzers, teams.
Yes.
Another one. I think that was Ian and Nabil.
Is that the dog that got a speeding ticket in Germany?
Why is it not a German policeman?
Well, they.
Do you mean this photo's been mocked up?
Yeah.
Another BBC scandal.
Yeah. It didn't really happen. There wasn't really a dog got caught speeding. His owner received the fine, but due to impeccable timing on the dog's behalf, this is the image that was sent along with the fine. should have used bark and ride. I didn't want to do that joke, but I have to. I have to, otherwise the auto cue doesn't move on, so I was literally stuck with it. Time now for the Missing Words round, which this week features as its guest publication Practical Wireless Magazine, a magazine for amateur radio enthusiasts. Originally launched in 1932, though anyone who attended it will tell you the reception wasn't very good. And we start with famous amateur radio saying is that if there are 3 amateur radio operators living in a village, what?
2 of them ignore the other one.
Yeah, you're quite close, actually. The answer is that there will be 2 amateur radio clubs there. This old saying is to illustrate how argumentative amateur radio operators can be. You know, oh, I swear I have met a woman. Next, almost half of French people support making what a criminal offence?
Being polite.
It's shirking domestic chores is the answer. Recent poll has revealed that 50% of French women would support a new law criminalising partners who don't do the housework. This stereotyping has to stop. Most French men are far too tired to do the chores after a hard day cycling around trying to sell onions. And finally, people are either amateur radio operators or they are...
Sexually active.
Yeah, it's actually people are either amateur radio operators or they are not amateur radio operators. Not. So the final scores are Paul and Hannah with 8 and Ian and Nabil with 3.
I let you down.
Well done.
On which note we say thank you to our panellists Ian Hislop and Nabil Abdul Rashid, Paul Merton and Professor Hannah Fry, and I leave you with news that after 6.5 years without a signal, TV engineers in North Korea finally managed to establish a connection in time for the final of RuPaul's Drag Race. In Tijuana, bosses of Mexico's most wanted drug cartel, Los Grandes Sombreros, are at a loss to explain how police found their secret hideout. And at the Oscars, one caterer decides it's best to say nothing after dropping a couple of canapes behind Olivia Colman. Good night.
Well, after a day like this, we're creating the perfect pub. Listen to The Moon Underwater now on BBC Sounds. And next time, I always feel like somebody's watching me. And it's Lee with a pair of binoculars, new, not going out, in a moment.
Nights can't mend our frail ties. Static whispers beneath digital skies. Virtual vows fade with the dust. Data love's promise turn into rust. Can we save these divided hearts? Patch up the cold where the system starts. In this tangled web, can love reboot? Or are we lost to circuits in pursuit? Binary bliss turned into splinters. Cold algorithms replaced winter.
By over 1 million people. Thank you.
That was a jackdaw. That's brilliant.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
That's a cuckoo with a lisp.
OK, fingers on buzzers, teams.
Yes.
Another one. I think that was Ian and Nabil.
Is that the dog that got a speeding ticket in Germany?
Why is it not a German policeman?
Well, they.
Do you mean this photo's been mocked up?
Yeah.
Another BBC scandal.
It didn't really happen. There wasn't really a dog got caught speeding. His owner received the fine, but due to impeccable timing on the dog's behalf, this is the image that was sent along with the fine. I should have used bark and ride. I didn't want to do that joke, but I have to. I have to, otherwise the auto cue doesn't move on, so I was literally stuck with it. Time now for the Missing Words round, which this week features as its guest publication Practical Wireless Magazine, the magazine for amateur radio enthusiasts. Originally launched in 1932, though anyone who attended it will tell you the reception wasn't very good. And we start with famous amateur radio saying is that if there are 3 amateur radio operators living in a village, what?
2 of them ignore the other one.
Yeah, quite close, actually. The answer is that there will be 2 amateur radio clubs there. This old saying is to illustrate how argumentative amateur radio operators can be. You know, oh, I swear I have met a woman. Next, almost half of French people support making what a criminal offence?
Being polite.
It's shirking domestic chores is the answer.
Ooh.
Recent poll has revealed that 50% of French women would support a new law criminalising partners who don't do the housework. This stereotyping has to stop. Most French men are far too tired to do the chores after a hard day cycling around trying to sell onions. And finally, people are either amateur radio operators or they are...
Sexually active.
Yeah, it's actually people are either amateur radio operators or they are not amateur radio operators. Not. So the final scores are Paul and Hannah with 8 and Ian and Nabil with 3.
I let you down.
Well done.
On which note we say thank you to our panellists Ian Hislop and Nabil Abdul Rashid, Paul Merton and Professor Hannah Fry, and I leave you with news that after 6.5 years without a signal, TV engineers in North Korea finally managed to establish a connection in time for the final of RuPaul's Drag Race. In Tijuana, bosses of Mexico's most wanted drug cartel, Los Grandes Sombreros, are at a loss to explain how police found their secret hideout. And at the Oscars, one caterer decides it's best to say nothing after dropping a couple of canapes behind Olivia Colman. Good night.
Well, after a day like this, we're creating the perfect pub. Listen to The Moon Underwater now on BBC Sounds. And next time, I always feel like somebody's watching me. And it's Lee with a pair of binoculars. New, not going out in a moment.